kickoff for the Cowboys. Marte Jenkins back deep for the Cardinals, along with Marcel Shipp.
Matt, just a week ago, we were looking at this Cowboys team saying, how in the world did they come back to win that game against Carolina?
Well, I think they're still wondering. Nor's kick sails 2 yards deep in the end zone to Marte Jenkins. Jenkins got a block. Got the kicker who submarined him. It's going to be sore for the kicker on the way back home.
Marte Jenkins, who's a dangerous return man. Look on the outside right here. Here's the block. Wow.
That's Kobe Reinhardt.
Yeah. Laid out Darren Woodson.
Yeah, who's still on the special team.
Amazing.
After all these years.
Yeah, he's in line to set the all-time record for the Cowboys. Number of tackles. May get that record today, close to Leroy Jordan. He's out there covering kicks.
So the Cardinals, led by Jake Plummer, Jake the Snake, although he hasn't been snaking much lately. A lone setback. Jake throws first down to Marte Jenkins. Jake's the leader and has been in recent years. He's been, I guess, career-wise, somewhat of a disappointment to Cardinal fans. The offensive line in front of him, Sheldon, Kendall, Grudadoria, Roundtree, and Davis. Those who handle the ball are Jones, Makovicka, Boston, Sanders, and Freddie Jones. Makovicka is not active. I'm sorry. Thomas Jones, a couple of yards, not much.
Well, that man, Thomas Jones, has been injured now with a bad ankle the last 3 weeks. Hadn't been the same, but he had a breakout game against Seattle up there. Finally carried the ball over 20 times for the first time in his life, had 173 yards, and he said he finally got a chance to wear down the defense.
3rd and 2. Jake Plummer crosses midfield into Cowboy territory, run down by Kevin Hardy.
There's a little snake in there.
Yeah.
That thing opened wide open for him. And on 3rd down, he was able to rescue the play. Watch. You see Frank Sanders in motion now, his new go-to guy on 3rd down. Watch this lane open up here in the middle.
14-yard scramble.
Nice decision by Jakey. I think he needs some, it's been a while since he's done that. I think he needs some lessons on how to slide.
Empty backfield. Pass incomplete. Intended for Thomas Jones. Welcome to those of you who just joined us for the action at Sun Devil Stadium. Dallas, Arizona, the opening series by the Cardinals, and there's no score yet. It's 2nd and 10. Jake Plummer, the quarterback.
It's almost like a home game for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Always the biggest crowd of the year. A lot of Cowboy fans get a chance to see the...
About half of the fans are Cowboy fans. Jake Plummer. Thomas Jones. Good yardage, a good hold. Here's the Dallas defense, and they've been playing, although beat up in the secondary, they've been playing well. Ekuban, Noble, Glover, and Ellis up front. The 3 linebackers, Hardy, Steele, the new middle linebacker, and Coakley. And the secondary, Mario Edwards, Roy Williams, Darren Woodson, and Dwan Hawthorne. Third and 1. Sanders on the move. Cowboys blitz. Jake read it. Sanders caught the pass, got the first down.
Sanders pass complete to Frank Sanders.
Right now, for a game break. Let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
San Francisco had beaten New Orleans 16 of the last 21 times, trying to make it 17 out of 22. Garcia on the last play of the game, throwing it to Kevin Barlow, who tried to get out of bounds with time left on the clock. Did not. The Saints win it by 8 and improve to 6-1. Back to Pat Summerall and Brian Baldinger.
And San Francisco 4-2 now.
Yeah, and Arizona with a win today would get to 4-2 and go to San Francisco next week.
Plummer. High to Sanders.
Plummer's pass incomplete, intended receiver Frank Sanders.
You know, Jake is upset with himself because he had Frank Sanders open down the sideline, and really Jake should be playing better because it's the best offensive line he's ever played behind. This group that got billed last year as the big red line is starting to come together. They're led by Leonard Davis at right tackle, but that guy, Raleigh Roundtree, the right guard, makes his first start for this group today. But a veteran group, a group that's been healthy for the most part and playing well as a unit.
Reverse fake. They give the ball to Jones straight ahead. And Kevin Hardy leads the tacklers.
Well, Thomas Jones gets off, and you know, they want to feed him today, Pat. You know, you mentioned at the beginning that they have 3 healthy running backs, and really none of them have been healthy this year. Thomas Jones got hurt 3 weeks ago. Then Marcel Shipp came in, helped him beat the Giants. He got his knee hurt. Then in the last game against Carolina, Damian Anderson came off the practice squad, gave him a big lift, and now they're all healthy here today. But that's the guy that they want to get the most rushes to, Jones, and you want to see they're going to let him go as long as that left ankle holds up.
And he'd like to carry it about 30 times in a game. He thinks it gets better and stronger the more he carries it.
Well, if he can do that, Pat, he also will wear down this Cowboys defense.
Yeah, that's true. 3rd and 6 coming up. The referee is Dick Hantack. Brandon Noble is out.
Please reset the game clock, play clock.
Mike Myers
for 10
is in
seconds.
the front 4 for the Cowboys. Myers a little bit quicker.
Yeah,
a little bit better pass rusher.
Yeah, better pass rusher. He comes on. He was hurt last year, a kid out of Alabama, and he's a good pass rusher. They get a good push in the middle. Him and Leroy Glover inside right now. Keith Ellis, a good pass rushing defensive front. And, you know, anybody that ever plays against Jake Plummer, they always worry about him getting out of the pocket.
There is a problem with the game clock. That's the whole reason for the holdup. Dick Hantack, as I mentioned, the referee. Yeah, we got the clock straight. Cardinals go with 4 wideouts. Jake drops. Pass was for Freddie Jones, who was open, but it came loose.
You know, and that was just a drop. And we talk about Jake's accuracy and how it has to get better, but they invested in Freddie Jones this offseason, a big free agent priority, and he threw it exactly where he had to.
Yep.
He had the first down, threw it low away from the defense, and then you have the drop.
So we'll get an effort from Bill Gramatica from 41 yards away. Gramatica hits the 3 and puts the Cardinals on the board first. Dave McGinnis, the Cardinal head coach. His team ahead 3-0.
Yeah, and a pretty good drive for Arizona. And, you know, they showed the offensive line. This is a team that really likes to run the football, and they've been running it well. That offensive line did a good job, had a chance to convert that 3rd down to keep that drive alive. And you always think those things can come back to haunt you, but McGinnis has just done a great job here. You talked about the optimism that surrounds this team. You can feel it. It's palpable. It starts with him. I almost think I was watching the show yesterday, Pat, on the Discovery Channel, The Crocodile Hunter. To me, Dave McGinnis is like the Crocodile Hunter of pro football. He can get anybody excited about this game.
Even a crocodile?
Well, I saw the Crocodile Hunter was rescuing sharks out of a net yesterday, you know, and then kissing the shark after he released them. I don't know if McGinnis is ready to do that, but he's not afraid to go in these shark-infested waters.
That's a sport I don't think I want to take part in. Kissing sharks.
Kissing Shark Club?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little safer up here. Way up here.
It's way up here. You're right about that. This is certainly the highest and most difficult to see vantage point that we have anywhere in the NFL.
You need an oxygen tank up here.
You didn't get yours?
I went to the oxygen bar the other day.
Reggie Swinton to the 34, right now to James Brown, the Fox Network Center in Los Angeles.
Pat, Buffalo's defense forced 6 turnovers against Miami to help it to this huge upset. But take a look at Drew Bledsoe hooking up with Eric Moe, 70 yards to pay dirt, and it's Buffalo over Miami. Miami had beaten them 4 consecutive. Back to Pat Summerall and Brian Baldinger.
That Buffalo team can score the points.
They're dangerous. I think Drew Bledsoe might be playing his best football ever.
Yeah.
I think that change did him a lot of good.
Well, the 2 best passing yardage totals by a quarterback in the league this year.
2 400-yard games for
by Bledsoe. Quincy Carter. Around the corner came Adrian Wilson, and nobody picked him up.
Well, they want to blitz Quincy Carter right away. They don't want him to get comfortable in the pocket and then have a lane to escape the pocket. So Adrian Wilson comes off the right side here. Here he is. He's supposed to be picked up by Emmitt Smith, and Emmitt didn't know which way to go. He had 2 guys in his face, and Robert Thomas didn't do a good job picking up either.
Second and 16. Timeout, Arizona.
Timeout, Arizona. Their first timeout. This is a 30-second timeout.
While we have a chance, let's meet the Dallas offensive lineup, led by Quincy Carter.
Hey, fans, stop by the MBNA locations in the southeast and southwest corner of the South Plaza.
5 straight 200-yard passing games. That hasn't happened in Dallas since the days of Troy Aikman, the heyday days. Up front, this is a mystery cast. Adams, Lair, Gerard back, Page, Collins, and those who carry the ball: Emmitt Smith, Robert Thomas, Bryant, Galloway, and Tony McGee, the tight ends.
You're right about that mystery group up front, Pat. I mean, every week it's musical chairs in an offensive line, and for the first time, Larry Allen's not dressing today. You know, we've seen that act. Larry coming on the field, off the field. They're going to try and get that left ankle healed once and for all.
I think that's wise.
Yeah.
Don't dress him.
There he is. Man, this is tough for Larry to sit there and watch. Really tough for him to sit there and watch.
He looks like he's got pads on when he does it.
Doesn't he?
Carter deep. Picked off by the Cardinals, Adrian Wilson. Antonio Bryant was the target, and the Cowboys have said they're going to air it out a little bit.
Well, they have to rely on the big play, Pat, because the offensive line, there's so many breakdowns every play, it's hard to run your offense. So you got to take your shots down the field. But, I mean, this is right into double coverage. You know, Antonio Wilson back there, Ronaldo Hill, 2 young players that have played really well for this Arizona Cardinal defense. And that is perfect double coverage and really an ill-advised throw. I mean, that's the one that's, you know, we talk about checkdowns. That's the one where you just say, you know what, let's throw it to Emmitt here. Let's get 4 yards. Let's come back and play another down.
Wilson has an interception and a sack in that first defensive effort.
Now, the first time we saw this Cardinal team, week 1 against Washington, he didn't play, out with the dislocated shoulder, but he makes a big difference in that lineup.
Well, they didn't look very good. Here's the reverse coming. Everybody's running this. Should be Marte Jenkins, lassoed by Greg Ellis.
You're right, Pat. A lot of teams are running that, and they're running that reverse early, and then what they do after they run it is they fake that reverse a lot. And they get that defensive end, you know, to bite on the reverse, and they kind of run underneath the defensive end. They're going to try and trick Greg Ellis right here. Now, Ellis, you know, he sees the play kind of late, and you see the speed of Greg Ellis, because Marte Jenkins is the fastest player for the Cardinals, and Greg Ellis just chased him down.
Second and about 6.
Oh, see, there's the fake.
Reverse again. Jake pulled it down, tried to throw it. Freddie Jones, the target, pressured by Darren Woodson. Doesn't figure he'd be fooled, does it?
No. You know, and we talked about how we've seen that all around the league. Now let's see what Greg Ellis does this time. They come right back to it. See, he's playing the run. Now he sees it. He keeps his head up. I don't know what to do. They didn't give it to him. So I saw in practice the other day, they actually have a double reverse in, where actually David Boston comes around and takes the ball. So they got a whole package off this reverse game. But all of it is designed to slow down the pass rush, and that's their best pass rusher, Greg Ellis.
Plummer. Pass is deflected. Greg Ellis knocked it away.
It's a good series for Greg Ellis, and I tell you, Arizona had exactly what they wanted. They had man-to-man David Boston on Darren Woodson, and Woodson got lost. And look at David Boston in the middle of the field. I mean, Woodson got lost on the coverage, and Greg Ellis makes a hell of an athletic play right there.
Yep. Scott Player punts to Reggie Swinton, who signals fair catch. Emmitt Smith has had no carries yet. But of course he is 175 yards away from breaking Walter Payton's record. It's anybody's guess when it'll happen.
Yeah, you can't predict it. You know, with this offensive line the way it is right now, the thing about Emmitt is he's averaging 4.3 yards a carry, which he has his whole career. But it's how he's getting at right now. He's got a lot of negative runs. Yards are going for no yardage, carries for no yardage, and then he gets a big run. So it's hard to keep running the ball if you're not making consistent yards.
The option, Carter to Smith, went right past Emmitt. The pitch and went out of bounds.
That's a bad college play right there.
Yep.
You know, you don't see the option a lot in pro football because you can't risk getting that guy killed. But
this doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, Emmitt hasn't taken one of those pitches since he was at Florida, probably. You know, he's looking at two defenders breathing right down his neck, and he's like, "Don't pitch it to me. I'm telling you, don't pitch it to me."
That's just a question of which one of them you're going to get killed.
Yeah, they were ready for that.
Yep. Second and 18. Screen pass. Troy Hambrick, the recipient, and gets just a few yards. David Barrett read it correctly.
I've seen two mistakes here from Quincy Carter early in this game. You see the interception, the bad pitch. And really what Dallas's game is all about right now, Pat, is managing the game. They want to get these games to the fourth quarter. They don't want the turnovers early in the game that give the other team the opportunity for a short field, for easy points.
Third and 13. Carter straight back. Short. Intended for Michael Wiley. He had to field it on the hop.
Yeah, you know, and Dallas is struggling here offensively, but give a lot of credit to the Arizona defense. They haven't been fooled by anything.
Right.
They've got pressure on Carter. They haven't been able to run the ball yet. And this defense is, you talk about the optimism with Arizona, that's where it is. Because it is a team effort here with the Cardinals.
Arnold Jackson back deep for the Cardinals. Micah Noor to punt. Standing at the goal line. Too much time. I don't know why the delay.
We were talking to the Cowboys yesterday, Pat, and they just said this is a hard place to come to play. Even when they were winning Super Bowls, you know, anytime they came to Arizona, it was always a close game and a hard game to, you know, to play your best football.
False start.
False start.
Offense number 57.
And
5-yard penalty.
time.
Still fourth down.
Lewis Mackey is number 57.
Let me quit.
And now Micah Noor standing in his own end zone. And again, they take a long time. This one's okay. There's a little gap here.
How do you get out of there?
I don't know. But he kept getting out of it.
He jumped through a couple of hoops.
Pepe Zellner finally corralled Jackson.
It's like he did a little limbo act here. His feet are going in about every direction you can. There, I don't know how he got underneath him.
He just barely did.
Watch this move. Woo!
Yeah.
Just saved his head. Like escaping from a guillotine coming after him. Yeah, I mean, this has not been a good part of this Arizona team. The punt return's been the weakest part. That's best return for Arnold Jackson this season.
1st and 10, Cardinals in Cowboy territory at their 44. That's Thomas Jones for only a couple.
Yeah, that's Thomas Jones now. You know, for years, I mean, this is his 3rd year now. He was his #1 pick. He was the 2nd pick in the draft in the year 2000. And he got beat out by Michael Pittman every year. And then he came here this year, and they didn't keep a veteran guy behind him. They just said, this is going to be yours. And so, he always said, give me 20 carries a game. Let me wear down a defense, and I'll show you in the 3rd quarter what I can do. And he got that chance against Seattle about a month ago. He's been nicked since then, but now he's healthy and a chance to get those 20 carries.
Let's again return you to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Show you an outstanding run, Pat, by Ahman Green. Take a look at Green Bay. Brett Favre hands it to Ahman. Deep back in the eye. Nice split there. Burst of speed right here. 24 yards to pay dirt. And it's Green Bay on top of the Skins at Lambeau. 7-3. Back to Pat and Brian.
Ahman Green's a heck of a back.
Well, that's a great 1-2 punch. I mean,
Yeah.
if Brett Favre isn't beating you in the air, Ahman Green is doing it on the ground or catching one of those Favre passes.
Third down. Plummer to throw it. He does throw it. To Freddie Jones, nowhere near 1st down yardage. And Scott Player comes out.
You know, Jake is one of only...
Gramatica headed out now.
Sorry, Pat. I mean, Jake is one of the only 2 quarterbacks in the league with less than a 50% completion rate. And that ball was thrown behind Freddie Jones, where he didn't get a chance to turn that up for a 1st down.
He made from 41. Let's see what he does from 53. Forget it. Not long enough, not straight enough. October's magical matchups continue tonight with Game 2 of the World Series in Anaheim. The Giants will try to take 2 games to none lead, while the Angels try to even the series. World Series continues tonight on Fox with Game 2 at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Long ball of last night.
Yeah, they did. A lot of home runs in that game. I'll tell you, Ortiz going against Kevin Appier. Ortiz undefeated in the postseason. And I'll bet the Rally Monkey will be out there in Anaheim today.
Emmitt Smith. And Emmitt burst into the secondary. David Barrett made the stop.
Here's the chess match today, Pat. Watch Arizona, where they play their 2 deep safeties. See, the safeties are back. That means there's only 7 guys right here. When there's 7 guys up front, there's a guy for each guy, and Emmitt will get a crease. And he said, look, I'm seeing too many 8-man fronts, but Arizona likes to kind of control that run with 7 guys. Now the safety drops down. There's 8 guys down.
Emmitt again. About 3, got 12 on the previous play. 175 yards, all he needs.
Yeah, and there's a fan club out there, and, you know, everybody is, when is it going to happen? When's it going to happen? And it gets tiring after a while listening to it. It's going to happen when he gets 20 carries in a game, a chance to carry it the way he did. 12, 13 carries a game isn't going to get that record very fast.
He needs 160. Carter. Pass is caught by Antonio Bryant for a short gain, maybe about 6.
See, they're going to that short passing game right now. They're not sure about the protection up front. Javier Collins making only his second start at right tackle. Matt Lair in there right now.
Matt Lair has a sprained right knee, we're told, and he's now out.
So now Marcus McFadden, who was in there last week playing some with Larry Allen, is back in there at left guard. Shuffle continues.
Robert Thomas nudges for it appears to be enough for a first down.
Yeah, the strength of this Dallas organization has been the offensive line since Jerry Jones, Jimmy Johnson came in here. A number of Pro Bowl players every year, and that just isn't the case. From training camp on, they've never had any continuity. And then what happens, Pat, is when you watch the tapes and you come in there and the coaches see it and the players, they're constantly taking their double teams to the wrong guy or missing a guy, or there's a breakdown up front. And you just need one breakdown for a play to break down. Boy, get out the magnifying glass. You couldn't get a credit card through there.
Lozelle Adams got hurt at the beginning of training camp. He never came back as long as they were in San Antonio. But he's the only one to start all 6 games at the same position since the first of the year.
And not only that, he's told me that being out at the Cowboys practice facility this week, that he was calling the offensive line signals at left tackle last week. And that never gets done. It's hard to communicate unless you turn your head that way and let everybody hear you.
Here's Carter back to throw it. Antonio Bryant. That is a good throw by Carter.
Good protection that time and a big-time throw by Quincy Carter. I mean, watch them up front now. Arizona's in a bear look, covering everybody up, coming with 5, one-on-one, 5-on-5, and it looks like they're trying to get the ball to Antonio Bryant early in this game, and they should, because he is on the verge of breaking out. He wants the ball. Got it last week at the end to win it.
Emmitt Smith broke a couple of tackles, finally brought down by Adrian Wilson. But Emmitt made something out of nothing.
You know, and he has made almost a full career out of playing for the Cardinals. No, he's had 149 touchdowns in his life, 25 of them against the Cardinals. And it's almost like a home game for Emmitt here. You got the fans behind him. He's on natural grass. Last year he came here, he had a huge game, about 130 yards in that game. He likes playing here.
Here he is again. Crosses the 15, down to about the 13, short of a first down, it appears.
I mean, there it is. I mean, the most touchdowns against any opponent in the league. And the Cardinals and the Eagles, he beats up on both those teams.
Yeah.
Of course, I think back, Pat, to Super Bowl 30 that was right here against the Steelers. And, Dave Campbell was talking about it flying in here yesterday, how this was the setting for the Super Bowl that year. And Emmitt had a big day that day. The Cowboys won their last Super Bowl here.
Here's Carter.
Got him.
And it's intercepted right at the goal line by Ronaldo Hill. He had a man open, but the ball got there late.
He had Antonio Bryant in the end zone, and he never saw Ronaldo Hill come into the picture. Here's Ronaldo Hill. He runs off on another man. Now, Antonio Bryant slipped on the play, but coming back for the football. Boy, that's just a bad throw. It wobbled out of his hand. He never got his feet set. And, when you're in that compressed part of the field, that inside that 10-yard line, so many bodies coming from different directions there. And that has been a huge pickup here for Arizona. He was a 7th-round pick last year. And they brought in Dwayne Starks, who was a big free agent acquisition, paid him a lot of money. He's been injured, but he's been stepping up, and he's gotten an opportunity to play, and they got themselves a good left corner now.
Cardinals from their own 3. Let's go quickly to James Brown in Fox Network Center, Los Angeles.
Pat, Jason Hansen's field goal at the end of regulation sent it in overtime. This 48-yarder by Jason Hansen boosts the Lions to victory. The Chicago fourth straight loss. Detroit picks up its second victory of the season over Chicago. Back to Pat and Brian.
Well, things are looking up a little bit.
Yeah.
In Detroit.
Maybe Matt Millen won't be grilled so hard after some of his comments with the win this week.
Jones again, and not much doing. Those of you who just saw Detroit defeat Chicago, welcome to the desert in Arizona. Pat Summerall with Brian Baldinger. And the score here is the Cardinals 3, the Cowboys nothing.
Talked to Jake on Friday, and they had a bye week last week. He went up to Boise, Idaho for a day, and that's about all the time he wanted to spend away. He wanted to continue the optimism. He wanted to get to practice. They couldn't wait to get here last Monday to get ready for the Cowboys.
Timeout, Arizona. Too many people moving. Too much confusion. They only have one timeout left now as we come to the end of the first quarter. 14 seconds left.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 37.
3-0. Arizona leads Dallas. 3rd and 5 at their own 8-yard line.
This Dallas defense has played well all year.
Yeah, they have.
You know, they made a change at middle linebacker today. Marcus Steele is in there. Made a change at the left cornerback. Dwan Hawthorne in for Derek Ross. Their problems have they've given up big plays this year because of the youth and the breakdowns that occur because of that.
Here's Jake Plummer. Tossing to Marte Jenkins, and that might have gotten him a first down.
Watch this formation here. You know, Arizona does something here where they almost stack these two receivers. They come down behind each other, and they're trying to get these guys to guess on it. You know, they're playing a zone right there, so you see Mario Edwards goes back, so they throw it underneath. If Mario Edwards came up on that play, they'd throw it behind him.
That's the end of the first quarter with the score Arizona 3, Dallas nothing. Fox NFL Sunday from Arizona will continue after these messages.
Plummer and the Cardinals clash with Owens and the Niners. October's magical matchups next week on Fox.
Back here at Sun Devil Stadium right now, Arizona up 3-0 on Dallas. Starting the second quarter, Arizona just got a first down, 1st and 10 here at their 15.
Empty backfield for the Cardinals on 1st and 10. Jake Plummer back to throw. Whips it outside, incomplete. Intended for Thomas Jones, who should have caught that one.
Arizona, good control in that first quarter. Of course, the big 2 turnovers here killed drives for Dallas. But this is what Arizona wants to do. They want to run the football. I mean, that's what they've been able to do. I mean, it's very basic. They like to run it. They like to stop the run. And then they like to manage the game. They don't want to turn it over. They want to play ball control, get it to the 4th quarter where they feel like they can wear teams out and then run the ball real effectively.
2nd and 10. Plummer gives to Jones, and Greg Ellis closes down fast.
We were talking to Greg Ellis yesterday, and I asked him about what he thought about the guy he had to play against, Leonard Davis, and he goes, I really don't want to play against him. You know, well, he said there's a difference. He said there's guys that are 300 or 350 pounds, and I can handle that. But it's the guys that are 350 to 400. I can't see around them. You know, it hurts when they sit on top of me. It's hard to get their hands off them. That's what he has to contend with today. That immovable object in front of him, number 75.
Well, you asked him if he could see around him, and he said no.
No. It's hard to know what's going on behind him.
Yeah.
Here he is inside on this pass rush.
Plummer. Pass caught by Boston. That's his first reception of the day. And that moves him all the way out to the 38-yard line. Keith Davis was the nearest Dallas defender, but that's a good throw from Jake and a good adjustment by Boston.
Yeah, David Boston right here. Again, they're running the receivers behind one another, and then they break off. And you see Dallas is having a hard time adjusting to that formation when they're running right behind one another, and then they cut off each other. And that's the combination right there. I think that if they get it together, Jake to Boston, and they start getting that down, that this team could really start winning some football games.
21-yard pickup. Here's Jake back to throw again. Pass should have been caught to Boston. Beg your pardon.
Well, they just ran that same formation, Pat. You know, there's
that was Dennis McKinley. Excuse me.
Yeah, two receivers behind one another. And, you know, the problem with Boston is he hadn't practiced. He's got a foot injury, a Liz Frank foot injury, an injury that a lot of guys that ride horses, their foot gets caught in a stirrup and it pulls the muscles apart. And he hadn't practiced until this week, and the timing hasn't been there between him and Jake.
2nd and 10. Frank Sanders on the slant manages to hang on and picks up about 7.
You know, Frank Sanders is a guy that's game has picked up with the injury to Dave Boston. And, you know, he's a guy that practices all the time, and he had huge numbers in this league. From 1970 to 97 and 99, nobody caught more third down passes than Frank Sanders in this league. And he said, look, my role is reduced, I know it, but I love my job. I love playing for Dave McGinnis. I'm not going to stir anything up because I'm not getting the football. There he is in the slot.
They need 2 for first. Jones will be close.
Jones with the pitch out.
Brandon Noble tripped him up.
Now we were talking to Dave Campo about Brandon Noble yesterday. He brought his name up, and he said, flat out, unsung hero. Guy that shows up every week, you know, plays injured, practices every day, you know, and a guy that has paid his dues. Went to NFL Europe twice, came back, got a 3rd chance in this league, and is making the best of it.
Solid.
Okay.
In a word, that's it.
Players punt to Reggie Swinton, and it takes a Cardinal bounce, and they down it at the 5. Brian Gilmore down. 47-yard punt by Scott Player. No return as it went dead at the 5.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Ford. No boundaries. By Miller Lite. Life is best told at a place called Miller Time. By Microsoft, providing software for the agile business. And by DirecTV, movies, music, and exclusive sports from the leader in digital satellite entertainment.
Back in the desert, there goes Matt Lair. Remember we told you earlier that he had some problems. Dallas' first 3 possessions, 2 of them interceptions and 1 punt.
Yeah, well, the first 2, you know, they didn't gain positive yards. They went backwards in the first 2 possessions. You know, but 2 interceptions have killed whatever drives they've had. So this Arizona defense, which is much improved, right now winning this battle early in this game.
Quincy Carter. Darnay Scott got enough for a first down. They move out from under their own goalpost.
Well, in that last formation, they put Emmitt Smith at wide receiver. You know, going to be the greatest running back in the history of the game, yardage-wise. He was at a wide receiver trying to spread this defense out. and make things a little bit easier. Here's Emmitt Smith coming out here. Try to spread them out and make the reads for Quincy Carter a lot easier.
Emmitt's deep. And Carter manages to get the ball to him. I don't know how. Russell Davis, Carter slipped down on the way out. Or tripped over a guard.
Yeah, well, you know, young quarterbacks, what happens to them is they get into a rhythm. They call the same play on the same, or they call a play on the same cadence, the same number, and they get into that habit. And as a defender, you can hear it. You go, it's on one. You get into a rhythm of going on one. You start beating the snap count.
And you change the count, and your own teammate jumps offside.
That's what happens.
This is second down. Quincy Carter has Darnay Scott again and open in the middle.
You know,
Kobe Reinhardt tripped him up.
Watch Emmitt Smith here. I mean, you know, you can't just be a runner. You've got to be a blocker. He saves this play on this pickup block. Took the corner off. They corner blitzed Quincy Carter that time, and he allowed Quincy to have the confidence that the backside was clean and able to find Darnay Scott over the middle.
Another Cowboy first down. Nothing doing. Rob Fredrickson led the defense.
One of the reasons why Emmitt Smith hasn't had 20 carries so far this year, and he said he hadn't seen 20 carries, he doesn't know how long, like it's a friend of his, is because of runs like that, where you don't gain any yards on the play. What we're going to do today is chart Emmitt's carries. See, you get a run like a 0 or a 2, it doesn't give Bruce Coslett, the offensive coordinator, to come back and call another run. Doesn't have the confidence to stay with it.
Second and 10. Quincy Carter back. Now he's going to take off. He did some work on his slide, too. Ray Thompson faced him down.
Well, Quincy Carter's a former baseball player. And, you know, he knows how to slide. There's a lot of quarterbacks in this league that should learn that skill. Mike Vick in Atlanta needs to learn that skill, how to slide, because it's going to save you to live and play another play.
3rd and 7. Troy Hambrick has replaced Emmitt Smith. Galloway goes wide left. And here's Carter back to throw it. James Whalen made the catch. Close to first down yardage. I'm not sure if he quite made it.
Nah, punt team is coming on right here.
Yep.
And, you know, you just don't get the confidence, Pat. And I think it starts with that offensive line that Dallas can drive 95 yards. They started at the 5. You don't get the feeling that the team has the belief that they can go 95 yards and drive 12 or 14 plays without a breakdown here or there.
Mike Lenore back to punt. Arnold Jackson deep for the Cardinals. Puts it. Short kick. Jackson says get away from it. It takes a Cardinal bounce, and it's down by Lewis Mackey. It actually just came back to him. He didn't down it. 7-11 left in the second quarter. 3-0 Arizona. Temperature game time was 81 degrees. It seems warmer than that.
Yeah, when the sun comes out, you know, it feels like you can cook a pizza out here.
1st and 10. Cardinals at their own 28. Jake Plummer back to throw it. Almost intercepted. Intended for David Boston. Mario Edwards almost came up with it.
Yeah, and Mario Edwards had a chance to make a play for Dallas here. This is great coverage on Dave Boston, who's a big guy, you know, a lot bigger and stronger than Mario Edwards. But, you know, that's just pretty good hand fighting there. Nice job of mirroring him, you know, just staying in front of him and then making a break on the ball. And that's where Jake's accuracy has to get better. He's got to throw it to the spot where the defender can't get it. It's got to be that precise in this league.
Marcel Shipp is behind Jake now, and the Cowboys come on a blitz, and Jake does unload in time. He saw him coming. Darren Woodson came flying up and pressured.
Yeah, they both came in the middle. And Darren Woodson, the starting safety right here, he's going to come right in here. You know, along with Marcus Steele, they blitz both of them. They know that if one gets picked up, the other one should be able to get there. See Marcel Shipp, he comes in for the first play, and he's got to go to pass protection right away. As a running back, you're not anticipating that. You're thinking, all right, got a chance to kind of ease my way into the game, and here comes Darren Woodson right in front of you.
3rd and 10. Plummer hits Boston. Over the middle, wide open. Tony Dixon finally brought him down.
And Dave Boston should never be that wide open. You should know where 89 is on the field all the time. Dallas playing his zone. You see Keith Davis there, who was on the practice squad, number 40, just last week, is getting his first chance. And he takes a bad angle on the tackle to Dave Boston.
Boston gets 23 yards on the pickup. The pass from Jake Plummer. 1st and 10, Cardinal.
This is where Jake's
Jake out of the pocket. Incomplete. Dangerous throw. Juan Hawthorne, the defender. Marte Jenkins was the target.
But Pat, you've been watching Jake Plummer now since he came in this league. He's done the playoff game against the Dallas here. No, and you said earlier today that he doesn't really have a lot of that snake left. You know, really a pocket guy, but still, to this day, you talk to opposing defenses, they get scared when he gets out of the pocket, and he goes to his right.
That's mostly reputation.
Yep, that's what it is. But that reputation still stays with him, and it's enough still to scare defenses.
Shipp wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage, no gain. It'll bring up a 3rd and 10. Leroy Glover made the stop that time, along with Greg Ellis.
No, we showed those pictures coming in to start this drive of the heat here in Arizona. A lot of players, you know, they start hydrating themselves. They start drinking water on Tuesday, Wednesday, getting ready for this heat because they know they got to deal with it out here. And so then it's almost a team that's in better shape in the 4th quarter. So Arizona got nothing on that run, but that's the type of run that takes something out of the defense. By the middle of the 3rd quarter, 4th quarter, we'll see if that 0 run turns into 3 or 4 or 5 yards.
Jake saw the pressure coming. He was high to Marcel Shipp, and they'll have to punt.
And there's that word again, that accuracy word. You know, because Jake threw that off his back foot, didn't have good mechanics on it, and the ball sailed on it. And that's what's hurting this team right now, because they shouldn't be winning games in the final minute. They should be able to put games away earlier if they were able to convert a lot of those 3rd downs.
Scott Player back to punt. Reggie Swinton back close. Player drops it at about the 3, and the Cardinals prevent it from going in the end zone. Kobe Reinhardt knocked it backwards, and they down it at about the 2.
Great play by Reinhardt.
46-yard bunt and no return. The Cowboys have challenged whether or not Kobe Reinhardt had a foot on the goal line, and it's close.
Yeah. See right here, it looks like his left foot may be on the goal line. If that's the case, he's in the end zone, and that should be a touchback.
Right.
See that left foot here?
Here you can't tell.
Yeah, because Brian Gilmore's in his way there. So, you know, it comes back to that, is the evidence indisputable? You know, and it's got to be beyond a shadow of a doubt. And if they look at it that way, and, well, it looks like he's on the chalk there when that right hand bats the ball back into play.
It would be at the 2 or at the 20.
Right. Right. So either be 1st down at the 2, 1st down at the 20. Dick Hantak has to make that judgment based on one of those 2 replays or a combination.
He's taking a long look. So it must be close.
Yeah, and I think this is big for Dallas because we just saw him start a drive at the 5, and this isn't a team right now with the instability in the offensive line that has the confidence of marching 95 or 98 yards.
Or 80 yards.
Or 80. You know, that's why I said, you know, they really need the big play. They've tried to force a couple of them today. You know, they also have the ability to blow this up here. You know, put it under the microscope.
It still is very close.
Yeah.
Still hard to tell.
Yeah, you just don't know if he's in front of that chalk stripe. You know, it's that angle looking back at it.
It's a heck of a play by Reinhardt.
Yeah.
No matter what the ruling.
No, I mean, it has to be, the evidence has to be, you know, downright certain that it can overturn it.
Dick Hantak spent a long time.
Under the hood.
Dallas has challenged the ruling on the field that the ball was kept out of the end zone. There's no visual evidence to support changing the call. Dallas is charged a timeout. First down.
So the Cowboys have 2 left. First and 10 at the 2 instead of the 20.
Jay's like, okay, whatever you say.
Okay.
It's real close. Now, last week, he didn't challenge a fumble because he didn't get a good replay angle of it before the next play. And after looking at it after a timeout, he probably, in hindsight, should have challenged the play. It would have been overturned on that Julius Peppers interception.
Yeah. So Quincy Carter will operate from his own end zone.
Yeah, and the fans are giving the business right there in the end zone. You know, this is a college stadium, and it's a college crowd. You know, and it's a real mix there. I mean, there's Cowboy fans in there, there's Cardinal fans sitting right next to each other.
Pass incomplete, drop by Antonio Bryant. That one was there.
Yeah, that opened up. They ran right into the zone there. One of those plays where you try to do too much. You try and catch it and run with it all at the same time. You forget to look it into your hands. See that? He's turning his head upfield before he squeezes it into his body.
That's the old, I'm going to start to run before the ball is secured.
Yeah. Well, catch the ball first, right?
Yep.
So Carter getting to know Dick Hantak there a little bit.
Yep.
Well, that's the crowd noise. You got to get right into that ear. I'm telling you, I've been in that end zone right there. It's hard to hear the play right in the huddle, much less any kind of audible at the line of scrimmage. Fans are very close to the team.
Second and 10. The give is to Emmitt Smith, who gets him a little breathing room out to about the 8. Adrian Wilson made the stop.
I've just been impressed by the Arizona defense so far. You know, we saw in week 1, Pat, against Washington, and they weren't very good. That funny gun offense that the Redskins had, but they have really come together in the last 6 weeks. That man, Adrian Wilson's been a big part of it. Ronaldo Hill, young corners helping out in the run game.
3rd and 4, and Hambrick is the deep back. Movement. That'll probably change the play call.
Yes.
Full start. Offense, number 70, will penalize half the distance to the goal line. Still 3rd down.
Yeah, last week the offensive line really hurt him with the penalties. Javier Collins had a couple of them. He was guilty there. The right tackle. The right tackle is the guy furthest away from the quarterback. You really got to turn your head in to the quarterback to hear what he's doing. Here he is looking in right now.
Quincy Carter back in the end zone, fires incomplete. Intended for Joey Galloway, behind him Justin Lucas, the defender.
You know, that's where that special teams play by Reinhardt really paid off. Pinning him down in there close to the crowd, that crowd affected that whole series for the Cowboys.
And now Mike Adore will have to watch not standing on the in line or not stepping on the in line.
Exactly. Look at him. Look at him now. He looks nervous.
Yeah. Arnold Jackson back deep for the Cardinals. Snap's good. Kick's not. Lassiter. And the Cardinals continue to lead 3-0 with 4:07 left before halftime. October's magical matchups continues next week with Fox NFL Sunday, beginning with America's #1 pregame show. Then the Seahawks look to run over these Cowboys, or these Cardinals try to slow down the 49ers in an NFC West showdown, or the Falcons battle the Saints. All part of a full weekend of magical matchups as critical NFL games and baseball's World Series both take place. Thomas Jones gets the carry.
Well, you talk about the magical moments and all that, Pat. You know, the Cardinals' next 3 opponents are all NFC West teams. So they go to San Francisco, they go to the Bay, they play them, then they play, St. Louis and Seattle. And, this is a team that nobody talked about. They're still not talking about it, but this is exactly the kind of game Arizona likes to play. Close to the vest, kind of controlling things with the run. Defense is playing well. Special teams outstanding. And I always think, whoa.
Jones again hit by Roy Williams. Boy, did he fill the hole.
He brought the wood, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. And, Roy Williams there needs a Y in the back of his jersey. Now you see that Roy Williams ain't his name. His name is Roy. They just can't find a spot for that Y. And I don't know why. Yeah, I mean, he's in a Y in the middle there. I mean, I think you can find a spot on that jersey for me. He's played well enough that he could get the full name back there.
Plummer takes off himself, and Jake inside the 20 to 15. First down, Cardinals at that point.
And that's the snake. Yeah, a couple times now today he's brought it out. And, this college crowd here, they get excited. Now, they got him on a blitz. Hardy missed him. And now everybody was playing man-to-man behind him because of the blitz. So everybody turned and ran down the field. And Jake didn't want to slide to the very last second here. Pick up as many yards. And I think that Jake has to play football like it's the final 2 minutes of a half or a game all the time.
He picked up 19.
That's when he's at his best. When he's just reacting and not really thinking and just playing street ball.
Thomas Jones to the 10. Let's quickly go to James Brown for a game break.
Hey, Pat, the league's top-rated defense on display. Take a look at Simeon Rice knocking the ball loose from Donovan McNabb. Who's there, Pat, but Derek Brooks, the linebacker. He takes it in for his 4th touchdown of the season, an NFL linebacking record. Tampa Bay on top by 4. Back to Pat and Brian.
Here at Sun Devils Stadium, it's 3-0. Arizona over Dallas, but the Cardinals are down close to another dose of pay dirt. The Cardinals are close, and Boston and Sanders, their 2 wide receivers, are not in the game.
This is a run formation here for Arizona. Trying to melt the clock a little bit.
On second down, Jones nudges down to about the 8. Close to first down yardage, maybe not.
Yeah, what they would like to do here, Pat, is pick up a first down on the ground, melt that clock a little bit more, and then, have 4 downs to get it to the end zone, bring the big play guys back out onto the field. But this is how the Cardinals play it. They play it tight, they run the ball, they control it, they don't want to turn it over. And the formula has Dave McGinnis here with the winning record after 5 weeks.
3rd and a half yard. Jones inside the 5, tripped at about the 3.
Yeah, it's not pretty and it's not real exciting. And you know, Boston, those guys still stay on the sidelines. They bring the third tight end in right now.
They put the ball down at the 4-yard line where his knee hit.
And I tell you what, Pat, you know, nothing pretty about that, but I'm watching Mark Rudidaria there take John Nix, the nose tackle, and just walk him into the end zone.
Jake fakes. Throws it away.
Yeah, you know, that route was for Freddie Jones, the tight end.
Mike Myers had no idea where Jake was.
No, there's Freddie Jones now. I mean, they covered him well. I mean, Marcus Steele was with them. Roy Williams was right on top of it. That was his one receiving threat. So, you know, then Jake had a chance just to try to rescue the play.
Jones at the 5, stop. On second down.
Yeah.
Michael Myers made the contact.
Well, the thing that will kill a running play in this part of the field is penetration, quick penetration. And that's what Mike Myers was able to do.
This is Arizona's last timeout. 3-0. The Cardinals lead. No. McGinnis was a little upset that he didn't get the timeout called. It appeared they had gotten it done.
Yeah, the crocodile hunter was going after the referee.
Yes, he was. The officials are saying that the Cardinals did not call a timeout, so they ran down to 8 seconds, and finally they did get one called. So that's the situation now. 3rd and goal at the 5, 8 seconds left. They got time for one throw, and maybe if it's not complete, they can get the field goal team on. Plummer, the fade. Touchdown. David Boston. Hawthorne.
If this play gets reviewed because they're not sure, they didn't get a good look at it, would go from upstairs.
Upstairs, right.
It would not be a coach's challenge, it would be upstairs. Let's see where Boston comes in. He's on the outside. Little fade route against Juan Hawthorne. Ooh.
That's close.
Yeah, right foot is definitely in.
Yep.
You know what? It looks like the toe heel. If it's the toe heel on the left foot, it's a touchdown. See that right there? It's the toe. That, I think, is a very good call and almost an impossible call to see.
The play on the field.
They're reviewing.
Yeah, here it is. Now, okay, right foot comes down, no problem. Left foot, watch the toe. Toe's in, that's touchdown. Now the heel hits the sideline. Got a great look right there at it. And you got a great look right here at it.
Both the officials right on top of it.
Perfect position. Head linesman is right there. He's saying,
are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Well, I don't know. He's not tickling him. I know that.
They're still reviewing. 3 seconds on the clock, so they have enough time for a field goal attempt.
The play is being reviewed to see if the receiver had 2 feet in the end zone.
See, actually, you don't need 2 feet. You need a foot and a toe. That is be enough, because the back of the heel actually comes in out of bounds.
Is 2 feet the same as both feet?
Well, it's 2 different feet, you know, right?
Yep.
We're gonna look here. I mean, you talk about positioning. See that? Boom, in, left toe.
Yeah, it looks like it.
You know, and he's taking his time on it, backing up. It's almost unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, two officials that close in that position, they got this spot. Both of them have a great look at the play, and you still don't know.
While one of them looks
sure
at the upper part of the body,
yeah,
see if he has possession. The other one looks at the feet to see if they're in.
Well, that's the mechanics. You look at the feet first or the end, then you look at the possession, and it's got to be a bing-bing. You know, it's shutter speed type quickness.
And it's very difficult as fast as things are happening.
We're seeing it all slow down. Let's take a look at it at the speed that they just looked at it in. Yeah, I think when you slow it down, you still aren't really sure. And it might come back to that same challenge we had before. Is the evidence indisputable to overturn it?
Well, you just think back, they wouldn't have had that kind of hurry. They wouldn't have had that kind of demand if they had gotten a timeout called when it was supposed to be called.
Right.
When they should have called it.
It's a touchdown on the field, so that's what's the challenge is, whether the touchdown gets called back and then you have 4th down with 3 seconds to go. And I don't think anybody knows in the stadium. I mean, everybody's kind of just, you can feel it. Everybody's just holding their breath on it right now.
After reviewing the play, the receiver had the right foot in the field of play. His left foot was in the end zone. However, as he continued to step, his heel of the left foot was on the white incomplete pass.
Three seconds left.
I thought that right there, that if you got the toe.
I thought so too.
I mean, don't you know the receivers that go out of bounds and they dot that I, they just tap the toe.
They just drag their toe.
Yeah, I mean, they just drag the toe. It's not the whole foot, it's just the toe.
So Grammatica comes on instead of being a 10-0 game. In all likelihood, it'll be a 6-0 game, and the Cowboys get a break. And they're still alive, very much. So it's 6-0. McGinnis, I think, wants to talk to one of the officials about what he saw.
Yeah, he wants a clarification.
Yeah, he wants hand tap.
Yeah, he don't want anybody else.
Right.
He wants clarification here.
Let's talk about it. That's the end of the first half with the score Arizona 6, Dallas 0. Fox NFL Sunday will continue with JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy, and the Visa halftime report after these messages. It is 6-0 Arizona. Let's go down now to our sideline reporter, Kevin McCabe, who's with Cardinal coach Dave McGinnis.
All right, I'm back here with head coach Dave McGinnis. What did the officials say to you there on the ruling?
Well, he said his toe was in, but when his heel came down, it was out. So, I mean, he called it, Kevin. I'm not going to worry about that. We got to get more points on the board than 6 to win this game.
What about the timeout there, the clock management down the stretch there? You had about 18 seconds and didn't get it stopped.
Well, he didn't stop the clock either right there. They had 2 players tangled up. The clock should have stopped right then, but I'm not going to say anything about it. We just got 6 points. We need more.
6-0 at halftime. Dave McGinnis will work on the second half, guys.
Okay, Kevin. Well, you got 2 players tangled up, though. You got to make a ruling.
Yeah, you do. And they gave the ruling, and look, the foot's got to be a continuous motion like Boston's was, so the foot has to be in bounds for it to be a touchdown. They made the right ruling. It's a technicality. But the fact is, Pat, for both teams right now, Arizona needs more offense. And they had a chance here to get the ball in the end zone, get a touchdown on the board. But the Cowboys, we were here last week with the Cowboys. You know, they didn't score anything at halftime last week, nothing through 3 quarters. There it was. If you just put the toe down and stepped out of bounds, it would have been a touchdown. The Crocodile Hunter's going crazy. But you know, at Dallas, it's almost like they have to throw a lucky Hail Mary here to have any kind of a chance here to get on the board.
Well, if you don't get the timeout called, as the Cardinals didn't right before the half, you'd have a little more time. You wouldn't be in such a panic situation.
You'd have a little more time to design some offense. I thought that, you know, they ran the ball in second down there, and really, you got a Dave Boston, you got a Freddie Jones here. I mean, those are your big play guys. You want to take a chance to the end zone with those guys. But by limiting them to a field goal, Dallas is right in this game as poorly as they played offensively in that first half.
Del Gramatica kicked off to Reggie Swinton. Swinton gets out to about the 22.
Well, Dallas here comes out to start the second half. Start the ball, Quincy Carter struggled in the first half. The interception early by Adrian Wilson killed that drive, and then a costly one, throwing an interception in the end zone. A chance for points on the board, and so that's a double whammy there.
So the Cowboys start the second half from their own 22-yard line. Carter back to throw. Maybe. Comes out of the pocket. Pump fake. He got a couple of yards before he was pressured by Russell Davis.
Last week we were watching Quincy Carter rescue that game, and he did a lot of plays like that where looked like he was going to throw it, brought the ball down, got out of the pocket. Was able to rescue a few plays, and I think he's going to have to do some of that magic this week.
He's more effective like that.
That's where he's at right now in his career, in his 15th start. It still isn't very pretty.
2nd and 9. Hand off to Emmitt Smith. And Emmitt lost the ball after he hit the ground. He's down. Thomas Burke tripped him up.
Yeah, that whistle blown, and that's that ruling. The whistle blows, the play's dead. He was down. People talk about Emmitt Smith. Here's the play. Following Robert Thomas into the hole. Ooh, that ball might have been coming out here. Wow, that's close.
That is close.
That might be worth a challenge. This part of the field. Dave McGinnis not going to be able to challenge in time if he was thinking about it.
Here's Emmitt again. Flag on the play. He didn't get enough yardage for a first down. Ronald McKinnon hit him, but there's a flag on the play. Against Dallas, holding.
Yeah, this should get declined here. Not very many penalties so far today.
No, McGinnis indicated already to decline it.
Not much offense and not many penalties.
Offense number 82. The penalty is declined. Result of the play, 4th down.
So Micah Noor comes on to punt again. 6-0. The Cardinals lead the Cowboys. About what we expected in terms of points.
Yeah. Dallas right now next to Cincinnati, scoring the fewest points in the league. We know what Cincinnati's record is there.
Cowboys had only scored 88 points coming into this game. Micah Noor. Arnold Jackson. Got a reasonably good wall that was set up for a while, but it disappeared quickly. Michael Wiley and Troy Hambrick down to take him down. And so the Cowboys will take over.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Cadillac. Bold vehicles defying convention.
Cardinals go on offense. Pat Summerall, Brian Baldinger. Arizona leading 6-0. Boston on the move. And Jake Plummer back to throw. Boston. Pass complete as he slid to make the catch.
When they put David Boston in motion like this, watch Dwan Hawthorne go across the formation. They know right then that he's man-to-man. And that's a mismatch. I mean, Dwan Hawthorne here making the start today for Derek Ross. Started 11 games last year, but he's a young corner in this league, and he doesn't have the physical size to be able to match up with David Boston.
Well, Boston's about 240.
Yeah, and he was probably in the weight room this morning trying to add on to it.
Plummer hands off, no gain to Thomas Jones.
No, he has that injury, Pat, that Liz Frank injury, and the history of that injury is kind of odd.
Boston?
Yeah, I mean, it's his left foot, and the Liz Frank was a doctor that used to diagnose injuries of guys that rode horses, and their foot would get caught in a stirrup when the horse would throw him off, and the foot would get tangled up, and it would tear the bones apart. So they call it the Liz Frank injury, and there's different degrees of it. Deuce Staley had a major operation in Philadelphia a few years to correct it. They feel like Dave Boston can get that with just a little bit of rest he had during the bye week.
Back is Jake. To Boston. Struggling to get his feet down. I think he got successfully this time.
Yeah, that's what you call dotting the I, getting that toe down. Going out of bounds that way. Here it is again. This is a matchup that they talked about at halftime. Working on Dwan Hawthorne. They got what they want. One-on-one. Watch this one. Left foot in, right foot drag. Good job of knowing where he was on the field.
Somebody hit Plummer just as he let it go. He was slow getting up, and he was stunned a little bit. 16-yard gain.
Look how you knocked the wind out of him some.
Nothing. Marcus Steele led the tacklers. See what happened to Jake on the previous play. It'll knock your breath out.
It'll take you a couple plays to get that back.
Ebenezer Ekaban made the hit.
Hey, you're digging down there to find some oxygen there.
Second down. The Cardinals are at the Dallas 41, just outside.
They only have 6 points. There's the oxygen, but this team can move the football.
They fake the reverse again. Give the ball to Darren Woodson. Made the stop on Thomas Jones.
Yeah, you know, in Arizona, as a team, they've run the ball over 20 times, and they like to get that up over 30 times. You know, and they just kind of hold on to it here, and it could be a little bit ugly, but, you know, it's not the prettiest thing, but not nearly as ugly as that hair there. But, you know, this is what they like to do. And you'll see here, this Dallas defense, see if they can stay up and keep shutting those runs down in the third quarter and the fourth quarter.
Well, that's one of the things that Dave McGinnis says. We need to run the ball. Run the ball. Familiar coach's philosophy. Here's Jake. He was going to run the ball. Tripped up by Roy Williams.
Yeah, you know, and he had David Boston coming across the field wide open, and he didn't see him and tried to take off with it, and Roy Williams, you know, just tripped him up by the foot. And here's Boston coming across now underneath the two receivers. Watch him. He was open going across. Nobody picked him up, and Jake never saw him.
Scott Player to punt. He's done a heck of a job so far, getting the ball down inside the 5 even. See how this one bounces.
Wow, they've been good here.
They really have.
Yeah.
He's done an excellent job of having the ball die down there inside the 10, and again he does it. Look at where the Cowboys have started the last 4 times from. Their best field position has been their own 22. Yeah, it's pretty hard to manufacture much offense from there.
Yeah, and give credit to Scott Player and that coverage unit of Arizona, pinning it inside the 20.
Whalen was the man on the move. Hole opens for Emmitt Smith. Stopped by Ray Thompson after he picked up a few.
You know, now, can the Cowboys sustain? Can they continue? Can they put a drive together? And I've watched every single film of the games they've played this year, Pat, and they don't run 2 or 3 plays in a row without a breakdown. Going the wrong, you know, not going the wrong way, but not taking their double teams to the right man, not being aggressive up to the linebackers.
7-yard pickup on the last play. Emmitt gets it again. Nudges it outside the 20, close to a first down, and very close. That puts him over 50 yards on the day. He's about 125 away from breaking the all-time record held, of course, by Walter Payton.
Man, it's not like the Cowboys don't want to run the football. They want to, but it's a difference between wanting to and then being in a position where it doesn't pay to keep running.
Well, take a look at the offensive line.
Yeah, we had a change in there today, you know.
Yep.
Lara went out.
Quincy going deep. Antonio Bryant made the catch. He got it. Bryant, touchdown, big play, big throw from Quincy Carter to Antonio Bryant. Ronaldo Hill was the close defender, but that's a heck of a catch.
Well, it's really the only way the Cowboys can score. It's from a long ways away. They don't still have a goal line offense all year. They have to live by it right now because they can't move the ball and manufacture offense. And this is a great catch by Bryant, staying with it, and then the speed to run away from it.
78-yard touchdown pass from Quincy Carter to Antonio Bryant. Boy, he's going to be something before he's through.
He's electrifying. You know, the game winner last week, acrobatic catch in the end zone, and then today, there's just no givens. Bryant's not even done celebrating, and they can't get the extra point.
It's 6-6. There's the touchdown, but the extra point you don't want to see again. .6-6 the score. Mike Anor just fumbled the snap from center, and that's why they failed so miserably on the extra point.
Nothing comes easy to this Cowboys team.
That's right.
Everything's a struggle.
Nor's kickoff comes down. Marte Jenkins brings it back. Flags all over the place. Derek Ross made the tackle. It's holding against the Cardinals. 7:40 left to play in the third quarter. 6-6 tie.
Holding during the return.
This is a defense designed to stop the run. You got 8 guys up there and then 3 defensive backs. The safeties here in the middle of the field got no help here on Antonio Bryant. So it's 1-on-1. Cowboys got what they wanted, and this is how they have to score. I mean, they're not going to march down the field. They need a big play, and they need big plays from Antonio Bryant and Joey Galloway to get it done.
Jake Plummer back to throw. And let's go back and have a look at the extra point.
Oh, yeah, you know, the snap from Jeff Grau is fine. Mike Anor here looks like he just bobbled the ball. Hit him right in the hands. He never got the ball down. And that was the result. I mean, it was ugly. And something that should be automatic. And he knows that head is still hanging. And, you know, he's hopefully gets a chance in his own mind to get a chance to come back and win this game.
2nd and 4. Plummer back to throw. Caught by Marte Jenkins. First down, Arizona.
No, we mentioned that this is the biggest crowd of the year. The Cowboys come to Arizona out here, over 60,000 people, and Antonio Bryant scored that touchdown. This place has been electric.
Yeah.
And it's the Cowboy fans here that are making the noise.
Well, it's about half and half, they say.
They don't even put the face mask on. They should.
Yeah.
The enemies sitting next to each other, they should put face mask on.
Plummer back to throw. Boston is open on that crossing pattern. The ball came loose, and the Cowboys have it if he wasn't down.
Yeah. Say this was just an incomplete pass, that it wasn't fumbled, but it sure looked like from here
it did, didn't it?
That he caught it and took a step with it. See if he had possession. I mean,
he took a couple of steps.
Couple steps. Now, did he have possession of the ball? Well, looks like he's got that ball under his right arm and tucked away.
No, he never had it from that angle.
Right. Dave Campo, though, he wants to take another look at it.
There is no challenge on the play. Second down, pass ruled incomplete.
No, the pass is ruled incomplete, so it's this unchallengeable ball. And you know, Roy Williams came up as he was juggling that ball. Remember, possession, that ball can't be moving in your arms. And it looked like it was never, ever, it stopped moving there.
Breaks up second and 10.
And that's just a bad drop by Boston.
Yep. Normally he wouldn't drop that. Plummer back again. Quick pass incomplete, almost picked off by Dexter Coakley, who had it read perfectly.
And Dexter Coakley was thinking, I think, a little too early about another touchdown.
Yep.
Now, he scored 5 of them in his career. He scored 1 earlier this season, interception for a touchdown, and Jake never saw him. He's throwing a slant to Boston. He has his eyes made up, and Coakley jumped it. And if he caught that ball, he would have scored. There was nobody who was going to catch Dexter Coakley.
I don't think Jake ever saw Dexter Coakley until he appeared to knock it. Here's the blitz, and he just throws it away. Pressured by Keith Davis, who came flying.
Nice blitz by Davis here, right off the tackle's butt. Nobody picked up. They brought 2 from the same side. Right now, the Cowboy fans in here are erupting the way they did at Texas Stadium last week in the final minutes of that game.
Scott Player back to punt. Reggie Swinton back deep for the Cowboys. Flag on the play. Swinton down the sideline, out of bounds at about the 40, but there's a penalty marker down. Justin Lucas knocked him out.
There is a penalty flag on the play. Penalty flag on the play.
A holding.
Holding
Against the Cowboys.
Against the Cowboys.
Back the Cowboys up here. Instead of pretty good field position, he's going to knock them back.
Holding.
Back to familiar territory from the way they began starting.
Number 20, 10-yard penalty, first down.
So the score tied at 6 at the Desert in Arizona. 5:58 left in the third quarter. 5 of Dallas' 8 possessions have started inside the 20-yard line, as will this one at about the 18, 19. Carter back to throw. Emmitt Smith gets the carry. Thomas Burke wrapped him up.
Tony O'Brien, the last couple weeks now, missed an opportunity from Quincy Carter against the Giants last week. The hero on 4th and 14, and then today, third quarter here, a spectacular reach, catch, and run by Bryant, and their big play guy right now in this offense.
Pitch back to Emmitt. This is Joey Galloway. Steps up the sideline. Right now, let's return to James Brown in the Fox Edwards Center in Los Angeles.
Hey, Pat, this could be a huge story coming out of Green Bay. Take a look at Jeremiah Trotter, 54. LeVar Arrington, 56, as they converge on Brett Favre. You see the replay. Brett's left leg, his knee and ankle severely twisted. Sprained knee is the call right now. He will not return. We'll keep you updated on this. Green Bay ahead right now, but more concerned about Brett Favre. Back to Pat and Brian.
That's Marcus McFadden, who's the injured player, and that's a place that they can't afford another injury. He had come in at offensive left guard. They'll have to find somebody else. Jeremy McKinney. And we'll identify the rest of the offensive line for Dallas in a moment as Emmitt Smith swings wide left for about a yard. LeVar Fisher brought him down. Boy, the Cowboys were really in trouble in the offensive line.
Yeah, and it's peculiar that they run behind him on the first play. I mean, here's a guy that just got signed this week. Was with the Houston Texans to start the season, released, out there and available, and with Larry Allen down today, they needed a body in there. McFadden looked like he might be okay to go back in, but
looks like it.
But it's a constant juggling act, and that's why they have to rely on the big play of Carter, Galloway, and Bryant right now.
Emmitt again tries it and doesn't get much. Ray Thompson tripped him up. And they again run left. Flozell Adams is over there as Emmitt gets a little turf out of his eyes and helmet.
It'd probably be good if Emmitt had a chance to meet some of these guys.
Yeah.
And, you know, Emmitt not feeling too good after that carry. You see the runs there that make Bruce Kostic get away from it. The negative runs and the runs for no yards.
Troy Hambrick has replaced Emmitt. 3rd and 6. Ooh. Cardinals showed blitz. Carter pump fake. Intercepted. Adrian Wilson came down with it. That's his second.
You know, it looks bad, and it's Carter's 3rd interception, but that's almost like a punt. It's 3rd down, and he's just throwing up a prayer here, and Wilson, that's great coverage. He turned back into Darnay Scott, never took his eyes off the ball, was able to pin Scott to the sideline. This is Emmitt Smith with the injury going into the hole the series before that, or the play before that.
That's a play that in which he got hurt. 6-6 with 3:23 left in the 3rd quarter. Emmitt Smith over on the sideline. Doesn't appear to be anything serious. Here's the injury. Tripped over number 83, James Whalen, right there.
Yeah. Looks like he got his heel or his Achilles heel, something jammed on the play. But, you know, Emmitt only missed 4 starts in his 13-year career. He's played with a broken hand. He's come back from a concussion. He's going to come back in this game as well.
Dislocated his shoulder.
Sure.
He needs 117 yards now. Here comes the Dallas blitz. And this opens up pretty good for the Cardinals. Thomas Jones gets a Cardinal first down.
You're right, Pat. They ran away from the blitz that time, and they got a split there. And I said early in the game that Arizona's game is predicated upon wearing down defenses, and they stay with the run. That's the first split they got. Usually it takes about the middle of 3rd quarter before you start to see if a team's going to break down, and that's the best run by Thomas Jones all day so far.
12 yards he got. Empty backfield on 1st and 10. Plummer drops to throw. Outside, pass caught by Sanders. He gets out of bounds after he picked up about 5 or 6. Dwan Hawthorne knocked him out of bounds.
Yeah, we talked to Frank Sanders on Friday. He's just a class guy. And he's been around here since the beginning of Jake Plummer's tenure. You know, he's the elder statesman on this team in his 8th year, and he said that Jake has matured. He's gotten better, but he still thinks he's got a long way to go. That the accuracy still thing has to get better. Understanding the offense now has to keep improving.
Second and 5. Jake is really shellacked. He gets it downfield, incomplete, intended for Boston. But Jake really took a hit.
He never saw where this ball ended up, because Dallas gets after him with just a 4-man rush this time. That was Ecubon that got there, along with Nix.
A little sandwich.
Yeah. Little Cowboy sandwich. And this is, that's good double team cover. That's Darren Woodson that had a chance at that interception.
3rd and 5. 2:15 left, third quarter. 6-6 tie. Jake is high in the direction of Sanders, and here comes Scott Player again.
Yeah, and Jake was just, was all over that one, just high and outside, and 2 real bad throws in a row.
So Scott Player has done a heck of a job getting the ball down inside the 24 times, and the others haven't been bad.
Yeah, it's been a personal record for Player today, 4 inside the 20.
6-6 tie. Reggie Swinton was back to field it, but this one slipped off the side of his foot a little bit. It's inside the 20 at the 17. Not his best, but not bad. 37-yard punt by Scott Player.
Sit on when it's 6-6. When it's a tie, where does he go?
Well, he's dressed in red. I guess he goes to that sideline.
I wouldn't mind, hanging with the cheerleaders isn't a bad object.
There's a pretty good sign. Got the movable numbers on it to see how far Emmitt needs to go.
Emmitt meters in Arizona.
The option. Nothing. That's a play that maybe ought to go back in the can somewhere.
Well, they've gotten some mileage out of it, and it's worked for them pretty good. I mean, Mike Wiley scored on it this year. Emmitt's had some big runs on it, but it's been on tape every week. Yeah.
That's where that play belongs.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of other garbage in there, too. I think that needs to get cleaned up here. Yeah, it's tough watching games when it's 6-6. And the offenses aren't producing.
2nd and 10. Carter rushed, scrambles up to about the 24-yard line, short of a first down. Thomas Burke brought him down.
Well, he has that ability to rescue some plays. And, the pocket collapsed on him, and he made a good decision. He's not a guy that wants to run a lot. He just does it when he has to, and I see with the Cowboys just made another juggle on the offensive line.
McKinney came back in.
Yeah, he came back in. Why not? 3rd down, put another lineman in there, change it up a little bit. One of those days, that group's going to get healthy. It might not be this year, but they will get healthy.
Quincy going deep. Got Antonio Bryant, but can't get the ball to him. Bryant had a couple of steps on Ronaldo Hill, but the ball was well out of reach.
Yeah, that's the old pump fake. You move the corner with the pump. That pump right there froze that corner you're talking about, Ronaldo Hill. Watch this. See, he jumped on it. He jumped to make that play, and that's how you get a big play like that. Just an overthrow. We've seen that a couple of times from Carter this season. Another chance for a big play.
And Mike Honors into punt again to Arnold Jackson.
We're talking a lot about punting today, aren't we?
Yeah. That one slides off the side of the foot. Jackson catches it in front of the coverage and gets across midfield. The snapper, Jeff Drown, brings him down. And so the Cardinals will start in Cowboy territory when they begin to work. Joe Avizano will express his opinion, won't he?
I hope Joe hydrated himself down here in the heat, working it up. Jake struggling here in the second half. No big plays from him. Of course, we saw the big drop by David Boston. One way to stir up that Cowboys sideline is getting Arizona worked up.
Yeah. Well, that's not that difficult to do.
Yes, it isn't.
Moore. Fumble. And the Cowboys have it. Darren Woodson scooped it up. He said he'd like to have a good game here in Arizona. He played collegiately here. Lived here for a period of time. Family still does.
Yeah, that's
the ball
John,
just came out. John Nix.
Yeah, poked it out of there. And the Cowboys had knocked the ball out coming in today 12 times. Only got 4 recoveries. And last year at this time, after 6 games, they led the National Football League with 10 recoveries. And the defense coordinator, Steve Zimmer, said a lot of them just haven't bounced our way. That one bounced towards Darren Woodson.
And Woodson came up with it. Now Carter. First and 10 at his own 41. He won't know how it feels to start a drive from there. Hand off to Emmitt Smith, and Emmitt, I beg your pardon, it's Troy Hambrick, not Emmitt Smith. I saw the 2. It ran like Emmitt.
Yeah. Got a pretty good burst from him, you know. He hadn't carried the ball much today. Fresh legs here as the team start to wear down a little bit. He got to that hole fast.
Yep. That's the end of the third quarter with the score. Dallas 6, Arizona 6. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after a word from your local Fox station. A 6-6 tie. Mean Joe Green, the Arizona defensive line coach. He could play.
He could play, and he still carries an aura around him. And he's got a young group that he's been coaching, and they respond to Joe Green. I was reading something from Chuck Knoll the other day that Joe referred to. When geese fly in formation, they travel 70% faster than when they fly alone. And defense is a team game.
Hambrick skips across the 45 to about the 43.
And this defensive line has played well this year and today. That man, Fred Wakefield, was a free agent out of Illinois last year. He was the class president out of Tuscola, Illinois, small town. But, man, they play good football up there. Eh? Take on double teams. Nobody's a selfish player on that side of the ball. Trying to stem a little bit of the momentum that has shifted towards the Cowboys here.
Timeout, Dallas. They were a little confused on their substitution pattern, so they'll have only 2 left. 6-6 tie in the desert.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Saturn, makers of the View redesigned L Series and the all-new Ion. By Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Be you, nothing's better, Dr. Pepper. By Open, the small business network from American Express. New tools for a small business economy. And by Subway, fresh-made sandwiches on fresh baked bread. Subway, eat fresh.
Quarterback comparison this season. Neither one have been outstanding. Here's Quincy Carter to the sideline. Caught, first down. That's Darnay Scott.
That's
He's a good addition.
Yeah. Well, you know, he knows this offense. You know,
Yeah.
he was in Cincinnati with Bruce Coslett, him and Tony McGee, and they came in here, and, you know, they've heard the terminology. They know the adjustments. Then it's just a question of getting the timing with Quincy Carter.
Hambrick is the back. Swings out of the backfield. Here's good catch. That's Tony McGee. Carter had been going to the outside almost every play previously. Good time to sneak it into the tight end.
Yeah, it is, and that's another guy from Cincinnati. That's McGee, the other guy. You know, that are familiar with the offense, knows where to go, how to make the adjustments, and that's just a great catch. Stretching out by the fingertips. Quincy Carter a little behind him, but brought him in.
Flag on the play. They might have taken a little too long, or somebody moved. Somebody moved.
Yeah, it's going to be on the Dallas offensive line. It looked like it was Javier Collins.
Ball
Again?
start. Offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
He had some of those last week. He's had one already previously this week.
You know, he's playing pretty good football.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
he is.
For a young guy that was a defensive lineman a year ago, he's used his hands well. He hustles. He's smart, but he's hurting him with the penalties the last 2 weeks.
Emmitt inside the 15, about the 14. Antonio Bryant with a good block out front.
Emmitt Smith working towards 20 carries today. Might be able to put a smile on his face. I know he's getting tired of people asking him, when's he going to get the record?
He needs 110 yards now. 17 carries for 65 today.
He used to dial up 110 on the Cardinals just getting off the bus.
In the first half.
Yeah.
Whalen goes in motion. Here's Carter back to throw it. Can't find anybody. Pass intercepted in the end zone. Adrian Wilson, that's his third pick. Javier Collins consoling Quincy Carter. And the Cardinals escape with no damage.
Yeah, and that's the second interception in the end zone. Here he is. He does a great job of escaping the pressure. But the schoolyard football has to stop at some point. And you just can't throw it down there to the Buick and think that that's it, that there's no consequences. You know, the fundamentals break down. He's throwing his sidearm and careless. And Adrian Wilson will take every one of them.
3 interceptions for Wilson. Quincy Carter in the pocket and out of the pocket.
It's out of the pocket when he's gotten careless. Throwing the ball across his body and into heavy traffic.
So the Cardinals operate from their own 20. Pass up to Thomas Jones, who sneaked through out of the backfield. Marcus Steele made the stop. Got about 5 yards.
You know, and Quincy has told us that, you know, every week there's new situations. And right now for him, I mean, this is the worst that he's played this year, the biggest mistakes, but it's 6-6. He'll have a chance here, you know, to come back and win this football game. He's got to flush that and move on. And that's one of those things that young quarterbacks have to do if they're going to grow up and improve.
2nd and 5. Jones gets a couple. 11:20 left to play. There's the first pick.
That one was just a bad throw. And then this one in the end zone just floated on him. Never saw Ronaldo Hill. And this one does a good job of scrambling, but you know where that ball, wow, he thought that was going to get to Tony McGee like that. You'd love to be able to pull that one back on a yo-yo string.
3rd and 2. Cowboys showing blitz. Plummer back to throw. Pass is caught by Marte Jenkins. And that's the Cardinal first down. Juan Hawthorne, the defender.
Well, the quarterback play hasn't been good today. And that's the first 3rd down throw that Jake's thrown that looked like a good throw here this half. And it looks like right now the winner of this game is going to be the one whose quarterback makes the least mistakes.
It certainly does. We're down to just over 10 minutes left. Still a 6-6 tie. Cowboys scored a touchdown but botched the extra point. That's Marcel Shipp straight ahead.
Now, there's games in this league that are just ugly. You know, and this is in that category. You know? But these guys up front, they don't care. I mean, Grudadaria right now and Riley Roundtree and Leonard Davis, this is where they've won games this year. They wore the Giants down. They wore the Carolina Panthers down. And you can see in the 4th quarter, you know, they have outscored what they've done the first 3 quarters.
2nd and 4. Again, a Cowboy blitz. Marcel Shipp slips over the right side, a little bit short of a first. About a yard short, it looks like.
You know, Marcel Shipp was the hero against the Giants a couple of weeks ago, and talking to the running backs coach, Johnny Rowland, he said he's got a little thump in him. You know, he's a little stronger, a little bigger, and a little harder to bring him down. And they're going to him now after that fumble by Thomas Jones.
With a yard left for a first, Jake goes into the shotgun. He might take off with this one himself and get the first, and he does.
That was really a quarterback run all the way. I mean, Jake had an option to throw it, but he saw the opening and he took it. He knew he just needed a yard for the first down. And Jake told us he loves the hurry-up part of the game. The final 2 minutes, when the game's on the line, he said a couple of things. 1, less thinking. 2, you go to some familiar plays that you practice a lot. You're more comfortable calling.
So they got the first down with that semi-scramble. They're at their own 47. Here comes the Cowboy blitz. Batted away. He saw it coming, but Roy Williams got his hand up and knocked it down.
And Roy Williams is going to be a great player, and he is when he's in this part of the field right now. When he's around the box, he's up on the line of scrimmage, he's at his best. When he's blitzing close to the ball carriers, he has a great feel for, you know, the team's offenses and what they're doing. And a very disruptive guy when he blitzes.
Steve Bush was open. He had turned around where Williams had blitzed from. But Roy Williams knocked it down. Shotgun formation, 2nd and 10.
Roy Williams coming on the blitz this time.
Screen pass call. That should be a good call. Shipp. Stopped by Greg Ellis, who chased him down, but that's an excellent call to get that blitz.
That is a great call, great point, Pat, because that's how you slow the blitz down. The blitz is coming here. They got a screen on this way across the formation. We haven't seen many screens today, and you wonder why. I mean, it's just a good play when teams are coming after you the way each other have. Got Pete Kendall out front there, needing some interference. Marte Jenkins down there is blocking. Good play call.
1st and 10 at the Dallas 39. Shipp. Stopped by Kevin Hardy. That was a bad move by Shipp. When you dance sideways in a game like this with this many people blitzing, you don't dance.
Oh.
You go ahead and get it.
No. You skip the dance.
Yeah.
You know, and you just stick your nose in there and you get what you can get. And, you know, when you're a second-year guy and haven't played a lot, you still think like dancing is what the party is all about.
2nd and 10. Plummer out in the flat to his tight end. Steve Bush, who skipped over one tackler and got first down yardage. Good move. Kevin Hardy pushed him out finally.
Watch big Leonard Davis here. Watch this, just jamming Greg Ellis, stoning him right at the line of scrimmage there. Never got him in the passing lane. And big Leonard doesn't wear down. You know, he's a guy that came in the league at 377, weighs 376, you know, and takes care of himself. The other day, everybody went for the fried chicken after practice. Big Leonard went after the bowl of fruit.
Shipp again to the 25. Pepe Zellner, the bottom of the pile. But the Cardinals getting closer and closer to field goal range.
Now, just looking at Leonard Davis some more, you know, I've been watching him a lot this year, and he's played right tackle, he's played right guard. can really play any of the guard or tackle positions. Here he does a good job of sealing with Leroy Glover, keeping him out of there, sealing the outside. There's a long ways to go to run around that man now.
He is full grown, I think.
He thinks he's matured all the way.
Here's Plummer back to throw and gets this pass to Marte Jenkins, who broke a couple of tackles and got down inside the 15.
It wasn't clean. That ball got bobbled.
Yep.
It was a hot potato for about a full count. Never took his concentration off the ball. He's a former Cowboy. Cowboys drafted him and then released him 3 years ago. And the Cardinals have been developing him. Right now, he's been their second most productive receiver.
Jake had to go sidearm to get it around Zellner. But it's 1st and 10. Play number 13 of this drive. Here is Ship again. Scrambles down to just outside the 10 by Dexter Coakley, who made the stop and made sure he stayed down.
You know, as much as Jake has struggled today, he's putting it together on this drive. You know, and now the problem that they've had this year is finishing drives, getting the ball into the end zone. The guy that they leaned on a couple of weeks ago was Frankie Sanders up at the top.
Here's Jake to Sanders. Caught at the 5, and he leans over to about the 4. Mario Edwards on the coverage, but it's 1st and goal, Cardinals.
Yeah, not much, a lot of cushion there, this close to the goal line. But Mary Edwards, 27 there, he's got to close that, not give him that lane to throw that slant.
Correction, it's not a 1st down. They still need about a yard. I thought he had crossed the 5.
Well, the last time they were in this situation, that's when Jake Plummer bootlegged and rolled out and ran for it.
The 15th play of this drive coming up. Flag on the play. These are the kind of penalties, if it's against the Cardinals.
False start. Offense, number 87. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Bush, the tight end. Dave McGinnis. Well, here it is again, Brian.
Steve
Go
Bush
ahead.
there, yeah. I mean, he was the 3rd tight end on the play. He just got an early jump.
Sorry to say, Dave McGinnis is a guy who has kept a group that he likes. And he hasn't threatened a lot of people. He hasn't said, if you don't play well, you're gone. He likes what he has.
Yeah, well, he's done a good job of weeding some guys out he didn't like. Getting his kind of character guys.
Empty backfield, and this is when Jake can scramble. He better scramble. Throws it away. Pressured by Leroy Glover.
Well, when you go empty like that, Pat, it gives the pass rushers a one-on-one shot. And Leroy Glover won. And it forced Leroy Glover's going to be right here, working on Riley Roundtree. And he comes off. Well, that's one of those scrambles that, he didn't really have to go, and there's really nothing you could do except throw it away.
That stop on Sanders, and then the penalty after that took away that 1st down, it appeared, and now we have to settle for a field goal. Gramatica, no good. From 28 yards, he missed it.
Is no good. By rule, is returned to the spot of the attempt. 1st down, Dallas.
Gramatica was not Automatica. Dejected place kicker Bill Gramatica. Don't forget the World Series Game 2 coming up. The Giants and the Angels are next.
Well, he's dejected, but on the other side, the Cowboys scored the only touchdown today, and they missed the extra point.
Nothing automatic in that business.
No.
Emmitt Smith out of bounds.
Wow.
Here's a missed field goal again. Gramatica just pulled it.
Yeah, he just hooks this here.
There are no gimmies.
Yeah, that was almost like the extra point. Boom.
Remember the Cowboys botched an extra point.
Yeah. They had a bad hold on it. Never got to the kicking point.
2nd and 5. Hambrick rambles to about the 44-yard line. The Cowboy 44 for a first down.
Yeah, running behind that makeshift offensive line. I mean, right behind Solomon Page and Javier Collins here. Nice lead block this time by Robert Thomas. Great lead block.
18 yards for Troy Hambrick.
That's the longest run that the Cardinals have given up all year, 18 yards.
1st and 10. Carter fakes to Hambrick, throws, going to take off himself, down for no gain. Baron Tanner.
Well, I think after the interceptions he threw so far today that he just wants to make sure. And he's not going to throw it into coverage right now, not with the game on the line here. And Billy Cundiff warming up. He needs to get probably down to Arizona's 30-yard line.
At least. 2nd and 10. Coming up to the 2-minute warning. Hurry. We get the 2-minute warning before the Cowboys can get another play off. And it's 6-6 with 2 to go. It's 2nd and 10, Cowboys. Score tied, 6-6, 2 minutes left. Cowboys have 2 timeouts remaining. Carter back to throw. One-handed catch by Hambrick, but only got a couple of yards.
That's some crap. You don't gain a lot of yards, you're right on it. Wow. The big thing is, he catches it and he gets out of bounds, but in a game where there's not a whole lot of offense, that's something to celebrate here.
Only a couple. 3rd and 7. Big down. Dallas has 2 timeouts left. Pass complete. Joey Galloway makes the catch and gets the first down. That's his first catch of the day.
First catch of the day. And last week he didn't come alive until that 80-yard touchdown pass in the final minutes. Nice job finding the dead spot in the zone there. And the one thing about Joey, he'll get upfield as soon as he catches it.
Still got his thumb wrapped, but tucked that one away. Clock running. Here is Michael Wiley out of the backfield this time and out of bounds. For a game break, let's go quickly to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Pat and Brian, as you well know, the multi-talented McNabb run-pass option. They drop off of him. What does he do? He takes it to pay dirt. 1-yard score. Philadelphia on top of Tampa Bay, looking for their fourth win in a row over them. Time permitting, we'll take you to that contest. Back to Pat and Brian.
Billy Cundiff getting loose over on the sideline. 2nd down. Emmitt Smith to about the 31. I think they're about close enough for Cundiff now.
Yeah, they are. And other thing, I think this is the only drive that the Cowboys have been good on so far today, where they haven't really made mistakes and they've been moving it forward. And Quincy Carter told us yesterday he loves the 2-minute drill. It's his favorite part of football. Guys holding hands, getting to know each other there.
Smith is out. Hambrick is in. 3rd and short. They could use a first. will not get it. They're going to have to try from way out. Timeout. Timeout, Cardinals. 29 seconds left, and they're going to put it in the kicker's hand.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Micah Noor is the holder. Billy Cundiff will try from 49 yards to untie it. Nowhere near long enough. No good. We'll head to overtime. 24 seconds left. The Cardinals get the ball, and I wonder what they'll do.
Well, you had to take a look at what Dave Campo did on that 3rd and 2, Pat. They ran the ball, but with the interceptions that Carter's thrown, they didn't want to take any chances.
Cundiff was short. 24 seconds left. Back in the desert, the Cardinals ball after Billy Cundiff was short. Campo thought they had it. McGinnis knew they didn't. 3-man rush, and Jake Plummer operates out of the shotgun. 24 seconds left. Plummer straight up the middle. They got 2 timeouts left. They'll have to use one now. Thomas Jones made the catch.
Well, Jake told us that he loves this part of the game, loves the pressure, loves the just reacting to it, and they need right now, Pat, they need 20 yards to get into Grammatica's range. That would be about a 52-yarder.
They have 1 timeout left, so they can still get the clock stopped. But they need those 20 yards you're talking about. His long this year, career long, as a matter of fact, is 50 yards against Detroit.
Of course, just in the last series, missed the 28-yarder.
Yeah.
No, they wouldn't even be in this situation. He hooked that. He was just wrong. He was bad from that one from the beginning.
Plummer brings them out. They need a sizable completion.
Doubling Boston right here.
2nd and 4.
Probably shouldn't throw it in that direction.
Plummer got a man open. Down to the 30. They're close to range. Boston. And they call timeout. That's their final timeout. 6-6 tie. The Cardinals will have a shot. .11 seconds left. Now here's the pass completion to Boston that got him 22 yards.
Pat, that's double coverage. 2 guys on Boston, and Mary Edwards is looking at something in the backfield. I mean, it's almost inexcusable. You got a guy low, you got a guy high on. They know that's their guy.
Looks like they're going to run or attempt to run one more play before they go for the field goal.
Well, here's the thing.
They're out of timeouts.
Yeah, you got to go almost to the sideline here, but if they complete it in bounds, it's got to be short, and they got to kill it right away.
11 seconds is not enough time for that. Out of bounds. He fires. Pressured by Keith Davis, but he was not trying to hit anybody.
Jake just told Grammatica, make this one. Jake wasn't taking any chances with it.
This one's going to be a little bit over 50. No, they put it down right at the 50. Now they say 51.
Well, either way, I think it's going to be a career long here if he makes it.
That's got enough distance. No good, however. And we're headed for overtime. 3 times Grammatica has missed. It's been a bad day for those who make their living kicking.
Well, it seems almost appropriate that we're in overtime here, Pat. Going to overtime. because we haven't had highlights. It's been lowlights. It's been missed field goals. It's been interceptions, points off the board.
And now the Cowboys take over. They have 2 timeouts left, but time for only 1 play.
They got the old Hail Mary.
Yep.
And we haven't seen one of those this year, have we, in the NFL, where
no,
just that Hail Mary toss and it gets bobbled and somebody by accident comes down and catches it.
Well, the Cardinals are ready for it. They got 5 people back inside their own 20. And they decide no Hail Mary. And we will stay here for the coin toss as this one goes into overtime, tied at 6. The last overtime game was back in '97.
Team has 2
Arizona
timeouts.
won at 25-22 on a field goal.
Yeah.
Challenges, instant replay will be done by the instant replay assistant in the press box.
Both teams have 2 timeouts, remember now. And this is coming under some scrutiny this year, the overtime rule in the NFL, but it's the first team to score. As opposed to watching college football on Saturdays where first team scores, the second team has a chance to come back and tie it up or to win it.
First overtime match for either team this year. There's what you were talking about, Brian.
Yeah. So I've watched a couple of these
Dallas,
games.
you'll have the call of choice. This is heads, this is tails. The choice is heads has been called. Heads. It is heads.
So Dallas will get the ball.
You're going to kick the ring, aren't you? Yeah.
The Cowboys will have the ball in overtime. Score in regulation, 6-6. An ugly game. When you think back, Brian, this game should not have been in overtime.
No. Both teams have had opportunities to win it. And we'll see some of the missed opportunities. David Boston, right at the end of the first half, doesn't get the back foot in. And heck, you can't get the hold down on the extra point. No, it's Mission Impossible, huh?
Yeah.
Pretty good theme.
So Grammatica will kick off.
It looks
He's
like
missed 3 times today.
Yeah, it looks like the Cowboys will accept the mission.
Yeah.
They're going to take.
Well, they got to
the
accept the ball first.
Right, you know, the Cowboys here, because of the way the divisions have broken down, this is their last trip to the desert.
For a long time.
Yeah, until like 2008. So I guess they want to give all their fans out here the money worth.
I'm not sure the fans think they've got their money's worth. That's Reggie Swinton back in the end zone. And Swinton is knocked down at about the 24 by Marte Jenkins. So the Cowboys get the ball first.
Well, Quincy Carter in his 15th start gets his first overtime game.
Wade Wilson calling the plays to Quincy on the sideline as he gets them from Bruce Coslett.
Upstairs. Well, the only touchdown on the game today was a long pass to Antonio Bryant, where the Cowboys basically got to live by that big play.
1st and 10. And then they missed the extra point. Smith outside the 30. Ronald McKinnon made the stop.
Took overtime for Emmitt Smith to get 20 carries in a game. That's his 20th carries, the most he's had all year, 78 yards.
So he needs less than 100 now.
Yeah. Maybe he needs a couple more overtime games to get that record.
Yeah. This way to Canton. He needs 97. He goes in motion. Quincy Carter back to throw. Pulls it down. And down he goes. Loss of a couple. Russell Davis. And Thomas Burke led the charge.
You know, he had Emmitt Smith open, but I'm telling you right now, 4 interceptions on the day. He will not allow himself to make a mistake in this area of the field. So he pulled it down, even when he had nowhere to go with it.
Emmitt is out. Troy Hambrick is in. 3rd and 5. Quincy Carter, incomplete. Somebody hit his arm. He pulled the ball down. The pass intended for Kenyon Rambo, and the Cowboys will have to punt. They can do nothing with their first possession in overtime.
No, and he wanted Joey Galloway, and they jumped the route, and he doesn't really know where plan B is, where the second option was. That's the quickness of decision that he doesn't have in only 15 starts. A isn't there, you got to go find B.
Arnold Jackson back deep. Micah Noor to punt. Jackson down at the 30. Let's go to James Brown and the Fox Network Center in Los Angeles.
Pat, overtime there. It was overtime in Oakland until LaDainian Tomlinson, 19 yards up the gut. He takes in over 150 yards on the ground. Marty Schottenheimer's squad is now 6-1, 20-5 all time against the Raiders. Back to Pat and Brian.
That's amazing what Marty Schottenheimer's done with the San Diego Chargers. Of course, LaDainian Thompson is a very good runner.
Well, you know, he was right in the Cowboys' backyard there at TCU, and that's the guy that's a franchise back that you can build a team and an organization around.
Jake Plummer remains the quarterback and fires to David Boston. Boston out of bounds at about the 46-yard line of the Cardinals.
And he's found Boston a couple times now in the second half. Again, working on Dwan Hawthorne. He doesn't want to get beat deep. So he's trying to keep it in front of him, and they'll take those kind of gains.
15 yards on that catch. Boston does 7 catches, 116 yards. Marcel Shipp is the running back now.
Boston's best day since opening day against the Redskins.
Here comes the blitz. Shipp hits the hole. And Shipp down into Cowboy territory to the 40. Marcus Steele. They caught the blitz again.
And they've done that a couple of times here in the second half. Cowboys taking chances, trying to knock the Cardinals out. They come with it, and Marcel Shipp runs right by it. Now here comes Woodson and Coakley on the play, but it's way too late after a big game.
And a first down for Arizona as they move to the Cowboy 40. Shipp again. Ekaban made the stop. In the NFC West, San Francisco lost to New Orleans today. Arizona with a victory could tie them for first place. St. Louis moving up and playing tougher every week. In the NFC East, Philadelphia won today, we understand, so their record's 5-2. The Cowboys need a victory to stay close. But right now it's slipping away. Plummer. Incomplete. Boston with a little whiplash.
Yeah, and that's another big drop by Boston.
Mario Edwards dropped him.
No, that had something to do with it too. Was the finish by Edwards coming back on his ball and just drilling it. I mean, only bent him in half there.
They need a first down to get within field goal range, or an attempt at a field goal at least. To get close enough. They need close to first down yardage to even have an attempt.
Cowboys look like they're only rushing 3. Dropping in coverage. Somebody will be spying Plummer too. It looks like Hardy.
They're bringing some blitzers. Plummer fires. Pass incomplete. They'll have to punt. That's too far for Grammatica. Marte Jenkins, the intended target.
And the Cowboys came with pressure. They came with Hardy. Run a stunt in the middle. Boy, Darren Woodson put a lick on Jake Plummer, eh? Hard to complete passes when all you see is a forearm right in your throat. You're lucky they didn't get a personal foul on that.
That's right. Player trying to nail it down again in the end zone. Can't do it this time. Brian Gilmore leaped and tried to knock it backwards, but they'll bring it out to the 20. And now what happened? The ball came loose.
I'm saying it's a
touchback. Here comes Dick Hantack. They've signaled touchback.
Yeah, once it hits the end zone, the play is dead, no matter who touches it at that point. Well, we've seen some discussions in that end zone already today.
This is a serious discussion.
The ball was first touched illegally by the kicking team in the end zone, then touched by the receiving team, then muffed, then recovered by the kicking team. However, the touching takes place, precedence over everything. First down, Dallas on the 20-yard line.
That's drilled into your head if you're a player over and over and over that you shouldn't touch it in the field of play. Of course, he was trying to knock it backwards, so it's understandable.
See that? See, actually, nobody's touched that ball, so Dallas is the first one to touch it. That's why it's an illegal touch.
Yeah.
The offensive team touched it first.
Those of you who just enjoyed the Eagles win over Tampa, welcome to the desert. Sun Devils Stadium, where the score here is 6-6. No game. Emmitt Smith. For those of you who joined us, to summarize what's happened, Dallas has 4 turnovers, all of them interceptions. Arizona 1. Rushing yards about even. Total yards, Arizona the edge. Dallas had the one big play.
That's a busy screen.
Yeah.
For a game that's 6-6, that's a lot on there.
2nd and 10. Quincy Carter drops to throw and fires outside to Joey Galloway. He's got the speed, and he exhibits some of that to pull away from Kwame Lassiter. Galloway gallops out close to midfield. 24-yard gain.
Yeah, and you know, I said at the beginning that they got to get the ball in these hands of Galloway and Bryant. They've made the plays here in all their wins this year. See, Galloway still has that problem with his right wrist, so he carries out with his left hand and then tucks it into that right hand when he gets hit.
First down, Cowboys at their own 44. And the handoff to Emmitt Smith, and there's not much there. Ronaldo Hill tripped him.
I think it's a good thing that there was some cloud coverage out there today.
Yeah.
And that, you know, it was a little cool because I haven't seen anybody cramping out here today. Both teams still playing very hard defensively.
Sun Devils Stadium as the sun's starting to set. Whalen goes in motion. Hambrick's the deep back, and this is Troy Hambrick. Nothing doing. Ronald McKinnon made the stop.
Brings up 3rd down. Ball in the 30-yard line.
Those of you in San Francisco, welcome to the desert. Sun Devils Stadium, where the Cowboys and the Cardinals are tied at 6. We're in overtime. 3rd and 7. Quincy Carter back to throw. Drops it over the middle. Darnay Scott can't get enough for a first. It'll bring up a 4th, and the Cowboys will have to punt.
Yeah, and peculiar with the personnel on the field because Antonio Bryant, the star of today and last week, not on the field on a key 3rd down.
Mike Anor back to punt again. And Arnold Jackson deep for the Cardinals. Nor gets it off. Jackson signals fair catch. He is slung down, a flag on the play. Randall Williams down to stop him.
Yeah, this was...
But this has got to be against him.
Yeah, really not a smart play at all by Randall Williams, because he gave the fair catch signal.
But I don't think he saw it, Randall Williams, because he had to scramble up to to catch the kick.
Should improve the Arizona Cardinal field position here. I guess
those of you who watched Green Bay defeat the Redskins.
Personal foul.
Welcome to
Unnecessary roughness
Arizona.
on the kicking team, number 23. You may not tackle a player after he has made and completed a fair catch. 15 yards, first down.
Much to the dismay of Dave Campo. And again, I don't think the man who made the tackle saw the signal for the fair catch.
Dave's like, not 15 yards.
Oh. Green Bay beat the Redskins, and welcome here at 6-6. And both teams have had a chance with the ball in overtime, but neither are able to do anything with it. So this is the Cardinals' second possession. Phil Grammatica has missed 3 field goals, one certainly makeable from 28 yards, the other 2 longer. But we shouldn't be in overtime. They pick up the blitz. They get the ball across the middle to Freddie Jones. At the end of the first half, here's what a play that was first called a touchdown and then ruled incomplete, so the Cardinals had to kick a field goal. And then the Cowboys scored a touchdown and watched the extra point. Then Grammatica missed from 28 yards. And it's 2nd and 9 now as we come back live. 2nd and 8 make it. 7.5 minutes left in overtime. Here's Jake Plummer back to throw. Outside and open, wide open, is the tight end Steve Bush, who gets enough for a Cardinal first down. Just a reminder that, of course, game 2 of the World Series, the Giants and the Angels, is coming up as soon as they settle this.
Well, this looks like a baseball score. You know, this looks like extra innings. You know, it was close last night. That Giants-Anaheim game, 4-3, a lot of home runs. Not many home runs out here today.
No, one.
Yeah, one.
Here's Jake Plummer. Jake takes off. Jake slides at about the 43-yard line. Knocked down by Marcus Steele, but he gets a first down. Clock still running. Each team has 2 timeouts. Neither have used one yet.
Right, David Boston talking to Jake, but you know, he's had a little stake in him here today. You know, when you see him like that, it almost takes you back to, everybody reminds me of those Arizona State games and the Rose Bowl championship and games out here in college. It has that kind of feel to it.
The Cardinals, with a victory, can tie San Francisco for first place in the NFC West. Nothing doing. Thomas Jones stopped by Kevin Hardy. The 49ers and the Cardinals play next week.
Well, both teams are fighting. You know, both teams are fighting to keep a winning streak alive, to build some optimism. Cardinals going for their 3rd straight win, the chance to go for first place next week in San Francisco. Dallas here, trying to stay on the heels of the Eagles in the East. Play Seattle at home next week. haven't won 2 in a row since last December.
2nd and 11. They picked up the blitz. Flag on the play. This is going to be interference, and that'll get him down in field goal range. Intended for Boston.
And Mario Edwards did not turn away from the man where he gets protection. Watch him. He turns into Boston. So any type of contact with him is going to be interference. That rubbing off with that left arm right there, never got the head around.
Pushed him out of bounds.
Yeah, that left hand pushing away on the body, and that's the size of David Boston on that play.
So they're back in. It's hard to say what Grammatica's range is.
Well, he's missed from 28.
Yeah.
He's missed from 51. Yet in some games you go and kick it right now and get off the field.
Marcel Shipp is in. That penalty gets him a first down at the 25. Handoff to Shipp, nothing doing. Knocked backward. Leroy Glover led the defensive charge.
If I was Arizona, I'd keep playing football here because you know that a field goal kicker, when he misses those, you don't know what you're going to get out of him.
It starts to get worse and worse.
Yeah, I mean, I almost think you got to go for the end zone, go for the touchdown. Because then there's no extra point, there's no holds, there's none of that stuff. You just go right into the tunnel, and you just keep running. Here's Boston at the top.
4:40 left in overtime, 2nd and 11. Plummer again. They're going to leave it up to Grammatica again. Marcel Shipp. The last tie game in the NFL was the Giants-Washington, a 7-7 final back in '97. At least they made the extra point.
They scored 2 touchdowns in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, they made the extra points.
That would be a novelty here today.
They don't want to lose any yards on this play.
No.
They don't want to go backwards.
Shipp. Get him on that hash mark. That's where he's missed both attempts from that hash mark. And here comes Bill Grammatica. No good. No good. And no good.
Yeah. And if they had a backup kicker, they'd use him right now. But there's only one.
He may have to back out of here if he misses this one. From 40 yards. Plenty of distance. And good. And the Cardinals win it in overtime, 9-6. Jerry Jones not happy. Final score, the Cardinals 9, Dallas 6. Coming up, Game 2 of the World Series between the San Francisco Giants and the Anaheim Angels. Overtime, Arizona beats Dallas 9-6, and they're the first place tie in the NFC West with San Francisco. Baseball coming.